Hey yo, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Ace. This is Fantasized Football. We are back once again, bringing y'all some more fantasy football content for the 2021 fantasy football season. And I am here today to bring you the third installation of the Three Little Bears Fantasized Football ADP rankings versus ADP series, whatever you want to call it, right? We are here, myself, my boy, today to look at players 25 through 36. Yes, 25 through 36 in terms of ADP, the third round, and tell y'all whether I feel like it's too hot, too cold, or just right for fantasy football in 2021. But before we get into that real quick, shout out to each and every one of y'all. Thank you once again for helping your boy surpass another goal, reaching 200 subscribers on YouTube already, way before the end of the fantasy football season. I really, honest to God, appreciate each and every one of y'all that come by on a weekly basis and show your boy some love and support. It really, honestly means the world to me. And if you're new, thank you for coming by, giving me a little bit of your time. I really do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you do, at any point, make sure to drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel to help us, myself, you, the community, my boy back here, reach our new goal of 300 subscribers on YouTube by the end of the fantasy football season. I would really, really appreciate that. But last time, part two, we took a little too long on everyone. There was some shit that got me all messed up, and I just took my time too much. I'm going to try to speed up the process a little bit. We're freestyling the shit, right? Phone machine, nope, don't need it. See ya. Don't need it, right? I'm freestyling this. So sometimes when I freestyle, I go off on tangents, right? I'm a little ADD. I just fucking go, right? So I'm going to try to be a little quicker this time. So without further ado, let's get right into it. And let's pull up here Fantasy Pros ADP, full PPR ADP. We're looking at players 25 through 36, and we're kicking it off with a running back, Clyde Edwards-Helaire of the Kansas City Chiefs, currently RB14, 23.8 in terms of average ADP. And we use Fantasy Pros ADP, if you're new to the series, because they take ESPN, RT Sports, Fantrax, Fantasy Football Calculator, and they average out the ADPs to get us a good idea of where these players are going. And some of them may be skewed just a little bit because Cam Akers has been taken out of these, but because he's injured, he's out for the season. But anyways, I digress. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, right? RB14, 23.8 in terms of average ADP. I think this is just about just right. Started the third round for Clyde. I feel like it's pretty fair. I have him currently as the RB17. So in terms of RB rankings, I am a little lower on Clyde than these guys are, but where he's being drafted, started the third round, I think it's just right. We're not too hot. We're not too cold right now. The porridge is right on the money. I think this is an elite offense, and Clyde's going to be heavily involved. Le'Veon's not there. We saw what he could do early on in the season before he got hurt, before Le'Veon got there. So I am just fine with Clyde here as the RB14, coming off as the first pick of the third round, or the last pick of the second round, technically 23.8. Yeah, in terms of ADP, but 25th overall. Yeah, last pick of the second round, first pick of the third round. I'm fine with Clyde Edwards-Helaire right there. So let's move on to the next player, and that is George Kittle, tight end 3, 25.0 average ADP of the San Francisco 49ers. I have him as my tight end 3 as well. I have it Travis Kelce, Darren Waller, George Kittle. Now, George Kittle scares me a little bit, but I think this is, in a 10-team league, this is just right? Because in a 10-team league, I value positional advantage a little bit more. So I'm okay with George Kittle here at, 26 overall, right at the start of the third round. I'm sorry, 25th in terms of ADP, first pick of the third round. I'm okay with that. In a 12-team league, I think it's a little too hot. You know what? I'm going to call this just a little too hot, actually. I'm going to call this a little too hot because there's some running backs I still like. I'm probably looking at some of the wide receivers you can get before Kittle. Kittle scares me a little bit. Half PPR, I like him a little more of a yardage guy. Waller's more of the catch guy, but Kittle still racks up the catches. He is one of the big 3 tight ends. So it's a little bit too hot, teetering right between too hot and just right. I don't think it's bad there. He's a focal point of the offense, going to be heavily involved, heavily targeted. If he can stay healthy, he will absolutely pay off this ADP, but health is a concern. And Boys, girls, ladies, gentlemen, are you fucking ready? Remember Mahomes last time? This isn't as bad as Mahomes, but this one, I'm like, dude, hold up. Hold on. Sorry, I got up if you didn't notice. Fucking. Oh, man. Jesus. It's fucking cold. It's fucking cold in here, boys and girls. It's my father's jacket. Fucking cold in here now. It's cold in here now. We are here. 27th, 29.0 average ADP, RB 15, DeAndre Swift, Detroit Lions. Too fucking cold. Too cold. I have DeAndre Swift as my RB 12 in full PPR. In half PPR, okay, sure, maybe. That's fine. I would be willing to take DeAndre Swift with a second round pick in full PPR. The dude's going to get a lot of catches, right? Look at this wide receiver core, right? You have Bashad Perriman, Tyrell Williams, and rookie Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then Hawkinson. Swift's probably going to line up in the slot a little bit, move all over the formation, get catches out of the backfield. We saw it from him last season. He's a great receiver out of the backfield. Going to be involved as the lead back, more than likely. I mean, Anthony Lynn, the A back, B back, Anthony, see you later back. That's what I want from him. But Anthony Lynn has shown that he can produce fantasy relevant running backs, right? We've seen it in the past already. We saw it with Eckler. We've seen it with Eckler, with Melvin Gordon, so it's within the range of outcomes that DeAndre Swift does bust, right? Or he doesn't pay off where I have him ranked, at least as the running back 12. But in full PPR, where catches are very, very important, I think DeAndre Swift has the upside to be like Alvin Kamara. You know what I mean? Be like 85, 90 catches. I think he's going to get 100 targets. I mean, I think he's going to be an absolute stud. So to me here, sorry, I'm fucking bamboozled right now. Bamboozled. Full PPR, 29.0 average ADP. Wow. RB 15, too fucking cold on DeAndre Swift. Put some respect on his name. I would draft him in the second round, but getting him in the third round, it's all the more reason why I consider with like a swing pick where I'm picking 1, 2, 3, taking a wide receiver with my second round pick and just coming back and getting Swift as my wide receiver too. Absolutely love DeAndre Swift, but yeah, man, I'm starting to get a little warmer, so we're gonna go ahead, remove the hardware. We're moving on to 28th. Average ADP 30.0. Wide receiver 9. Keenan Allen of the LA Chargers here. Coming off the board early, mid, third round. I think this is about just right. Let me see. Let me look at my wide receiver rankings. Yeah, I'd say this is about right for Keenan Allen. Coming off right about here, maybe a little too hot, but not bad. It's just right. I have him as my wide receiver 10. I mean, Justin Herbert showed he was an elite quarterback in his rookie year, breaking rookie records, this, that, the third. I think Keenan Allen's an absolutely phenomenal player, especially in PPR. Whole lot of upside. Probably going to be floating right around 100 catches, probably 1,100-ish yards. The touchdowns are a little bit of a concern with Keenan Allen, but he is going to be consistent, and I think he is very, very safe as a wide receiver 1. So I think this is just right. Now, moving on to the 29th player, 30.6 in terms of average ADP, the RB16, J.K. Dobbins of the Baltimore Ravens. And I think in full PPR, this is just right as well, right? I have J.K. Dobbins currently ranked as hold up as I put up their rankings. I have him as my running back 18, right? One spot below Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I mean, there's guys that I like a little more than him, but here in the third round, I think this is a good spot for J.K. Dobbins because after the third round, like rounds 1 through 3 is where a lot of the really high upside running backs are going to go, right? Dobbins is in a run-heavy offense, not very involved in the passing game. Lamar doesn't throw to the running backs very much, so that hurts in PPR. But I think he has elite upside, touchdown upside. Gus Edwards is going to be involved, but he's a very, very efficient runner. This is a very, very efficient offense. So 30.6 coming off right here in the middle of the third round. You can get him as your running back 2 if you want to go very heavy. Start off with 3 running backs. He's your running back 3. I am fine with that here as the running back 16, 30.6 overall. I would say this is just right for J.K. Dobbins. Now, moving on to 30th. That is Terry McLaurin of the Washington football team. The wide receiver 10, 31.6 in terms of average ADP. This hurts because I love Terry, man, but I just think this is a little too hot for Terry. There's some running backs I would take before I would go with Terry McLaurin. There's a couple wide receivers I think that I still have above Terry McLaurin. Actually, I think there's only one. It's just a little too hot. I'm not burning up, man. I'm not burning up at all. I don't need the Mickey Mouse fan, but it's just a little too hot for me. I would probably be looking at Terry more towards like the late third round. You know what I mean? If I have an early third round pick, I'm looking at guys like Keenan Allen over him. I'm looking at probably Waller or Kittle if they fall there. Maybe another running back before I'm looking at Terry McLaurin, because I think there's elite upside there, but there is also the potential new quarterback. Curtis Samuel's there around. They drafted De'Ami Brown. There's just a lot going on. He's going to be the alpha. He's a big part of this offense, but we haven't seen it from him in terms of touchdowns, right? We haven't really seen it in terms of catches either. You know, I think the ceiling for McLaurin is top 5, but I also think the floor is like top 15, top 16. You know what I mean? And investing third-round draft capital to be your wide receiver 1. There's just a few guys I would like more than him at the wide receiver and running back positions. So I'd say this is just a wee bit too hot on Terry McLaurin. Now, moving on to the 31st player, 32.6 in terms of average ADP, the RB17, that is David Montgomery of the Chicago Bears. And currently I have him ranked as my running back 20. But he's going to move up. He's definitely going to move up at least to running back 19, maybe to running back 18 with all of the reports that have been coming out from camp. So I think this is probably just right for Montgomery, right? This is just right for Montgomery. We're having another just right episode. The third round I'm kind of vibing with. Like for the most part, I notice when I do mock drafts a lot of time, there's a lot of guys that like I'm cool with right around here. And I think they should be going. I don't think they're like really steals. Swift, like I said, I think is an absolute highway robbery here in full PPR. But Montgomery, they're saying 20 carries a game. Tariq Cohen's on the pup right now, if I'm correct. I believe he is as of today, at least, which is Thursday. He was on the pup. So if he misses time, Tariq Cohen hasn't been super efficient as a pass catcher anyways. He's known as a pass catching running back, but he hasn't been very good at it. And Montgomery was good in that role. So maybe they split that role. And we saw what he could be last season. We've seen his ceiling. And I feel like we're drafting him a lot closer to his floor at running back 17. I mean, I think that's a great spot for him right here in the third round. If anything, I would say this might be a little too cold on Montgomery because I'm starting to consider moving him above Dobbins in full PPR, but the offense isn't as good. There isn't as much touchdown upside there, but whatever. I think this is teetering just right, if not maybe a little too cold on David Montgomery. Now, moving on to 32. 232.6 as well. Both these guys, 32.6 in terms of average ADP. The wide receiver 11, back-to-back Chicago Bears. My boy, Allen Robinson of the Chicago Bears, baby. This is just a wee bit too again, teetering on too cold and just right? Because this is where I'm targeting Allen Robinson. If not a couple picks before, I'd say it's just right? If they're within a few spots, they're just right. Montgomery's just right. A lot of these guys are just right in this range. Like I said, I like this kind of area. I have Allen Robinson currently, I want to say wide receiver 9 or wide receiver 10 in full PPR. Oh, no. Wow. Okay. Wide receiver 8 I have him as. Yeah, that makes sense. I love Allen Robinson. Clearly, I got a fucking signed jersey right behind me. But yeah, man, I think this actually might be a little cold on Robinson. I'd probably take him early third round. It's too cold just right, teetering right there. Allen Robinson's a PPR machine, and he's been that way with Mitch Trubisky, fucking Nick Foles, Blake Bortles, and now he's playing with arguably the 2 best quarterbacks of his career, Andy Dalton or Justin Fields. Andy Dalton, we're talking about Andy Dalton be the best quarterback he's ever played with. I have a video on this. Why you should draft Allen Robinson. Check it out if you haven't already. You should be drafting Allen Robinson. And I think this is right around where he should go. I'd probably take him a few spots before. If I want to get a wide receiver 1 in the early third round, Allen Robinson's definitely a guy I'm targeting. So I think this is just right for Allen Robinson. If not, a little bit too cold. 32.6 wide receiver 11. Moving on to 33rd. Y'all know how I feel about this shit, man. It's this too hot. This is too hot. It's too hot. 33.0 average ADP, QB2, Josh Allen, Buffalo Bills. Now, if I'm correct, hold on. I think I'm gonna have to pull this up separately. Hold on. Open Recent, QB rankings. Let's see. Yeah, he's my QB2 as well, but fuck, man, this is too hot. It's just too hot. I'm not drafting a quarterback in the third round, bro. Brodettes. Boys, girls, ladies, gentlemen, don't do it. He's a beast. He's got digs. He's got rushing upside. He's got everything you want in a quarterback. But in the third round, it's just way too early for a quarterback. I said all this on Mahomes. Check out the last episode if you haven't already. Elite upside. He's going to probably finish top 3 at the position, right? He's got a chance. It's within the range of outcomes. He's the QB1 overall. Rushing upside. Diggs there. He's improved as a passer. But nah, man, not for me. Not here. Nope. No, sir, Bob Bree. I am not taking Josh Allen here in the third round. This is way too steaming fucking hot. The sweat is building up on the forehead. The porridge is burning my mouth. I'm going to have third-degree burns on the insides of my fucking cheeks from consuming this there Josh Allen porridge. So let's move on before I have a heat stroke. 34th. 34.0 an average ADP. The RB18 Miles Sanders of the Philadelphia Eagles. I'd say this is about just right. This is about just right. Yeah, this is probably where Miles Sanders should be going the back half of the third round. You know, it was so promising the second half of 2019 with Miles Sanders. He was pretty disappointing last season, but he did show a lot of flashes. It's all going to depend on his role. If he has that passing downs role, which I think is definitely in question. They added Kenneth Gainwell. Boston Scott's there. Kenneth Gainwell is a pass-catching specialist. Probably not going to have that role, but if Jalen Hurts gets it going and this offense is rocking and rolling, Miles Sanders has a lot of upside, a lot of touchdown upside, but in full PPR, it's a little scary, so I think the back half of the third round kind of works for Miles Sanders because you're kind of baking in that risk into where he's being drafted. So I'm saying this is just right. I like this here for Miles Sanders. Running back 18, 34, average ADP, running back 18. I don't know if I already said that, but whatever. Moving on. Again, fuck, man. Thank God this jacket's still here. This one's another one like Swift, man. It's not as bad, so I'm just going to put on one side of the jacket. I'm just going to put on one side of the jacket. Does this look swaggy? This looks swaggy with half the jacket on? I kind of like this jacket. Thanks, Bob. My dad's Bob. Thanks, Bobby. All right. 35th. RB19. 36.0 average ADP. Put some fucking respect on his name, man. Chris Carson, running back of the Seattle Seahawks. I have him as my... Hold on, let me pull the running back rings. I haven't even got him yet. I'm going to say running back 15. Running back 16. Okay, I have him at 16. I did have him at 15. I teeter between him and Joe Mixon. I really do all the time. Like, who do I like more? All right, so Chris Carson, I did a video on Carson too. Consistently, criminally underrated. Put some respect on his name, baby. Listen here. Put some respect on Chris Carson's name, baby. Do it. Do it. Listen, man, he's got more and more involved in the passing game year in and year out. He's an efficient runner. He's a very, very underrated real-life running back, too. This is a run-first team. He is the lead back. He has no real competition. Rashad Penny can't stay healthy. Everyone else stinks. Chris Carson is good. He's going to get catches, too, especially in full PPR, 36 right here. So he's getting drafted like right about the last pick of the third round. Like, great. I'm happy. Maybe I shouldn't even said this. Maybe I should have said it's too hot. Draft Chris Carson in the 4th or 5th round. Fuck it. No, I'm not going to give you that bullshit. I'm here to provide you with the goodness, the good stuff. Chris Carson is worthy of an early 3rd round pick, man. All day. I'll take him in the back half of the 2nd round if I had to. In a deeper league, absolutely. PPR, I love Chris Carson. Yes, he has like a little injury concern, but he's averaged 14 games played each of the last 3 seasons, right? That's his average over the past 3 seasons. 14 games played. Running backs are going to miss some games, man. Like, he does have the knee issue, but I'm not too worried about that. Even if he misses a couple games, he's going to provide you with a safe floor. There's a lot of upside there if he continues to get more involved in the passing game. The rushing upside is there, and a run-first team in the Seattle Seahawks. Pete Carroll loves to run that rock, baby. So Chris Carson here, 36.0 average ADP, RB19 is too fucking cold. Put some respect on his name. Shit. My damn jacket off. All right, last one for this episode. Next time, we're coming back, and we're doing rounds 4 and 5. We're going to speed through that. We're going to speed run 4 and 5. We're going to speed run 6 and 7, and then we're probably going to be all done. We might even do 6, 7, and 8, and literally just go too hot, too cold, too hot, too cold, just right, too hot, too cold, too hot, too hot, just right. I don't know yet. We'll see when the time comes. I'm trying to just worry about the next 10 minutes. But I digress. 36, RB20, 37.4 in terms of average ADP. Josh Jacobs of the LV, Las Vegas Raiders. Too hot. Too hot. I have him as the RB23. Too hot, right? He's 37 point, a little bit too hot. Not steaming hot. Like, I'm not in a sauna. It's a little too hot, though. A little too hot. Because I have him as the RB23, right? He's coming off, what did I say, 37.3? 37.3. So it's really the first pick of the 4th round. 37.4. First pick of the 4th round. Some wide receivers I like more. Definitely some wide receivers I like more that I'm kind of like, I kind of be fading Josh Jacobs around this area. He scares me a bit too. You know, currently, based on my projections, where I have him ranked, it's kind of like disrespectful. Jacobs, because he's a beast. But for whatever reason, the Raiders, they bring in Kenyon Drake, right? Kenyon Drake's going to have a role. This isn't a great offense. Their offensive line fucking sucks. Derek Carr's the quarterback. Darren Waller's the number 1 option on the team. Darren Waller's great, but the wide receivers room stinks too. Defenses are going to be able to hone in on Jacobs, right? And I don't think he's going to have enough opportunity in the receiving game to really warrant hit like a early 4th round pick. I mean, middle of the 4th round, late 4th round, I'm all in on Jacobs. I'll take the shot because there's a lot of upside there, right? If he can just be 4.5 yards a carry and score 10 touchdowns and get 30 catches, he'll absolutely pay it off. But what happens is his offense stinks and he can't get anywhere, and he's 3.8 yards a carry, and he only scores 7 touchdowns, and he only gets 20 catches, and Kenyon Drake's really the pass catching guy. Then all of a sudden, Josh Jacobs finishes outside of the top 24, and if you invest a 4th round pick, it's just not really worth it. I like getting my running backs a little earlier than this, or waiting another round or two to go with the guys in like the late 4th round to the 5th and 6th round as my running back 3, because I already have 2 running backs, or I go RB in the first 3 rounds. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jacobs is just a little scary for me here. I think this is too hot. It's not like horribly too hot. I'd probably be in like the mid to late 4th round on Jacobs. So 37.4, RB20. I have him as my RB23, I think I said, right? RB23, if I'm correct. RB23 currently. He might move up a spot. He might move up a spot or 2, but I'm not really sure, man. I think this is a little bit too hot on Josh Jacobs. So we'll finish it off with a little few beads of sweat getting wiped off the forehead and peacing out for today. That is part 3, installation 3, ADP versus rankings, 3 little bear style, too hot, too cold, just right. Hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like, drop a comment. Let me know what you think of the series. Let me know what you think. Who's too hot? Who's too cold? Who's just right? What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? I'd really appreciate your feedback, any videos you'd like to see, and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Help me, help us, help me, my boy, reach our goal of 300 subscribers on YouTube by the end of the fantasy football season. I would really appreciate that. Check the description down below for all my socials, the podcast. If you're listening to the podcast, make sure to hop on over to YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, get notified when a new video comes out. I would really, really appreciate that. But that's it. That's all. That's all there is. Me, my boy, we are out for today. We'll catch y'all next time. And as always, thank you, love you, peace.